Just Click photography session. In the previous session, we have learned about three elements of the camera, that is aperture, shutter speed and ISO. In this session, we are going to learn how to use your camera in manual mode. It means you'll have total control over your camera exposure. Before we go through the session, let's first go through the exposure triangle. The exposure triangle basically consists of three main things, that is aperture, shutter and ISO. To create an image, first the light enters the lens and then it passes through the aperture, after which it passes through the shutter and then it finally hits the camera sensor. The aperture controls the quantity of light that enters the camera. Shutter controls the duration of light. Well, the final correct exposure image is achieved when there is a balance between the aperture and shutter speed.
Set your camera on manual mode, which is indicated by the letter M. To set the shutter speed, turn the rotating dial. To set the aperture, press and hold down the exposure compensation button while turning the rotating dial. Press the ISO button and set the desired result you want. To set the exposure, look through your viewfinder and focus on an object. You will then notice at the bottom of the screen what is referred to as a light meter. You can see this exposure line on the back LCD display too. Always make sure that to get a correct exposure, the light meter indicates 0. If you go towards -1, you will start getting darker images. Such images are called underexposed. And if the indicator goes on the opposite direction towards +1, the images will be brighter. Such images are called overexposed. shooting a landscape or a portrait, then you need to concentrate more on aperture by setting it at a constant value depending on the lighting conditions. Make sure your aperture value is set. Keep varying your shutter speed till the time your exposure graph indicates 0. If you are photographing a moving object like waterfall or a bike, then you need to concentrate more on shutter speed by setting it at a constant value depending on the motion effect you desire. Make sure your shutter value is set. Keep varying your aperture till the time your light meter indicates 0. By setting the ISO to a higher value in low light conditions without compensating the aperture or shutter value, you can achieve correct exposure images. It is very important to keep experimenting the combinations of aperture, shutter speed and ISO to achieve creative results.
Hope this video helped you to understand your camera in manual mode. So these were the series on our basics of DSLR camera operation. We shall be back with a new series. Till then, all the best, be happy and keep clicking.